You're listening to Maximum Medicine Radio with host Doc Martin. Stay tuned in or call in. You won't want to miss what's happening next. How do you step into your maximum potential? How do you connect your spiritual drive with your physical path? Stick around as Doc Martin takes listeners on a journey through the seen and unseen, the accepted and the unbelievable. Get ready to meet the maximum you the world needs on Maximum Medicine Radio with Doc Martin now. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Martin. This is Maximum Medicine. I'm here with my guest, Patrice Krysztofiak, and I met him through my radio show, Maximum Medicine, and he told me a very wonderful story, and I'm going to let him tell you. But what's happened to him probably won't happen to all of us, but the realms that he touches, that he taps into, are available to us. And we'll talk about that as well. We're going to talk about what it takes to start to have the gifts of being a medical intuitive, and then how to approach that, how to deepen it, how to make sure you have the ethics for it. And we'll talk about anything Patrice and I want to talk about. Hi, Patrice. How are you?
Hi, Doctor. I'm so good. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a pleasure.
And you are calling in from, are you in France now or are you in Portugal?
Yes, we are in France right now. We are heading for Portugal in October. So
okay. Now, for anybody listening, that sounds like a glamorous life. When somebody says, oh, I'm in France for half the year and then I'm in Portugal, that just sounds so nomadic and free.
Yes, definitely. But there is a reason why we have a little getaway in Portugal, and this is part of the story. So I don't know if I can start telling the story now.
Yes, please. Start.
Okay, so in 2018, I made a website in France with a friend, and we did a dentist directory. We would list all the French dentists and put phone numbers so people could call them, but we used 1-900 numbers. That is the equivalent of 1-900 numbers in France, so we would get a little fee on each call. This kind of directory is legal, but that did not exist for directories for dentists in France at the time. But we just did that, like we were just schoolboys playing with the web. But we did not realize the reach this directory would have in France became really huge. And the dentists got flooded with calls, and they actually sued us for this website. They sued me because I was in the legal terms of this website. I took full responsibility. So in France, how it works, it's the equivalent of the Better Business Bureau, if you want, is police. So it's the police of commerce, but it's actually the police. So I had a police interview, interrogatory, the full thing like you see in movies. I was crying. And I risked 3 years in jail and 300,000 euros, but $350,000 probably, of fine. And I was crying every day. And so I had a lawsuit on me, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm never going to be able to pay this. And every night for almost a year, I would go to bed and I would say, please don't wake up the next day. Please don't wake up the next day. I did not want to commit suicide, but I did not want to leave either. So I did not have suicidal thoughts. And that's when my guitar teacher told me, Patrice, you're solo. Also, my mom passed away during the same period, but I did the burden on my shoulders. And my guitar teacher told me, Patrice, you should meditate. And I started meditation. And after a few weeks...
So let me back up for just a minute, because this is a big deal. Your livelihood was threatened. Your creative genius, you were told this is terrible. You were threatened with financial ruin. Your reputation, you felt, went down the tubes. And here you are sitting thinking, I have no reason to live.
Definitely. Well, I thought I would lose everything, my house, everything, honestly. I would have nothing left. We're just a humble family, we're not rich. We're comfortable, but we're just normal people. We're just regular French household. And yeah, that was terrible. Honestly, I was crying every day.
You're married, so your wife is probably extremely distressed. This is very hard for her to watch.
Yeah, but she was very, very supportive. We've been very supportive of each other. We are very blessed that way. But she hides her emotions a lot, so I don't really know how she feels inside. She's very good at that, but I know she feels a lot.
So
It was very hard for her.
she's being a rock as best she can be. She's
Definitely, yeah, mega rock.
And then you have some friends that say to you, you're crying all the time. This is crazy. Why don't you try to meditate?
Yeah, actually, my wife tried to get me to meditate years before this because she was already into this, and I didn't listen to your wife. So, listeners, listen to your wife.
There's a lesson, right? Okay. So a friend says, and finally something clicks. I have nothing else to lose. I might as well try it.
Exactly, that's exactly what happened. And
Okay.
I found my own style of meditation. I found an app, a French app with guided meditation, very simple, made by a psychologist. It was guided 15-minute meditations. And there is one that was called Free Your Monkey Mind. I thought, oh, this one looks cool. And after a few weeks, I reached that it's like, kind of a video game. And after 70 courses, you reach the Monkey Mind course. And I did the Monkey Mind. I was actually in this room. And for, I don't know, maybe 20 seconds, I entered into the light. I was surrounded by light and I was laughing so hard. And my wife came, says, what's going on? Did you take any substances? Well, we don't do any substances.
What mushrooms did you just eat, Patrice?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we live in the forest, but no mushroom, nothing.
So how many weeks into this?
I don't know. I would say probably 3 or 4 months. I don't remember exactly
So
the
every
timing.
day, even though you're just meditating, you don't see any change, but you keep doing it anyway. So somehow you had faith. Somehow
Yes.
you had commitment.
Yes.
That's a big deal. In the middle of depression, that's a big deal. And then, boom, there's the light.
There is a light.
What does the light look like?
It's like you are in the middle of the sun. You have no worries, nothing to fear. It's absolutely peaceful and joyful. It's so simple. It's actually the simple joy, but it's beyond anything we know here. I cannot explain it. Honestly, there is no word.
So that's not embellished or fancy. It's profound. It's there, but it touches you enough that for the first time in a year and a half, you're laughing.
Yes, definitely. It was just brilliant.
Did your depression go away?
Not immediately, but I would get these glimpses of peace during the day. I would go out and find like 30 seconds of calm and no monkey mind here and there, and it would grow and grow and grow and grow. And one day I said to my wife, I cannot stay in France. We need a change of air. Let's go to Portugal. So that's why actually this force pushed us to just change of scenery, change of the brain. You know what it is. I could not stay in my jail where I got trapped, basically. I mean, it's a wonderful house, wonderful everything, but I needed a change of scenario. And we were very, very lucky because this was right before COVID. And we were able to get a mortgage to purchase a little studio in Portugal. And 500 meters from there was a massage salon. And I said, I'm 50 years old. I'm going to treat myself every week with something good for me. And that was my decision because I never did that. I was just a workaholic before. I never took care of myself. But what I did not know is that the lady at the massage salon also did energy work, but she didn't tell me either. I learned later. So she would give me massage, she would clean me up. And one day I felt a shockwave of energy on my body. It's like a nuclear bomb that falls on you and you're like, poof. You feel the reaper. And I vomited energy. I'm going to do it on the radio show. It's not very glamorous. I went, just sound like this. And I was like, I turned my head to the lady, her name is Daniela. I said, what is that? And she said, I remember, this is the lady who got trained in Nepal. with monks and everything. She's a real deal. And she said, we got it. But I had no idea what she was talking about. And from that day, my joy started to come back up at the speed of light. I started to see rainbows everywhere. I would stop at the red light. I would be in joy. I would see the door opening at my garage. I would say, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I was in this constant bliss that was absolutely incredible. That was so weird. Honestly, that was so weird because the switch was so fast. So she could actually remove this depression from me from work, and but in the energy version, she could feel the energy of my depression, I guess. This is the best way I can describe it. And yeah, that was incredible. And then that continued, so I continued going every week. And I started to see little emojis on people when they would touch me. I would see a little heart, for example.
So I'm going to stop you for just a minute. I want to ask a couple questions, and then we're going to take a break. And then I want to deepen into what you started to see. Somehow you said it sent you to Portugal. What sent you to Portugal?
The universe. I think this is
Okay.
what this was all a big plan. It was an event that kicked me
This
in the
was
butt
a
to move.
spirit-guided plan.
Oh, definitely. There's just no other way around this.
And landing next door to Danielle was another spirit-guided plan.
That was a divine plan. I have to say, it was quite incredible.
And here is this woman who's doing massage work, but she's actually sensing the darkness in you, and she is commanding it to leave.
Definitely.
And then one day, boom, it's gone, and the bliss hits you.
Oh, yes. It hit, it was very profound.
All right, I want everybody to hold on to that beautiful thought. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. We're back. I'm Doc Martin on Maximum Medicine with Patrice Krysztofiak. We are about to find out how the darkness leaves him and the bliss comes in. And this is so exciting. Patrice, all right. So Danielle orchestrated with the help of the divine. Boom, your depression gets pushed out of you. The bliss enters, and you're walking around like you're on ecstasy.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
Oh, all right. Tell me more. We want to hear more.
Yeah. So people started touching me when I would shake a hand, or if I would receive a massage or go to the hairdresser, and I would see little icons on them, like emojis, like a heart if they would be happy, or a mask if they would be a liar. This is how it started. So this
So you were given symbols that allowed you to interpret things about the person you touched randomly.
Definitely, and the image comes with more information. I guess telepathic communication is what we could call it. There's more to the symbol than just the symbol. It's hard to explain if you didn't experience this.
But it has meaning to you. The symbol has a meaning to you.
Definitely. They use a language I can understand.
And you say they again. You mean the intelligence
universe.
of the universe. Okay.
Yeah. You can call it whatever you want. If you want to call it God, you want to call it
angels.
I respect everybody's belief.
So
I just
here, you are given a symbol that to you has meaning. The cashier in the store, you see sadness. The other person, you sense happy. The other, you get, this person isn't a truth teller. And then how does that evolve?
So this was only with contact. And so I'm going to go back in time now because my wife was sick for many, 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 many years, like 10 years or more. And nobody could figure out what she had. And it was during a lockdown episode. And we said, we should do like Daniela. We should do a ritual and do a fake healing. We did not know anything about Reiki. I did not even know that word at that time. And we did a fake ritual to try to find what she had. So I did some pranayama breathing because I used to do that with Daniela, and we went completely crazy, and we were laughing so hard because I was doing breath of fire on her belly, and I was like, this was hilarious. We were laughing, we were rolling on the floor laughing, and then bam, I see a flash. I say, what is this? This looked like a mouth harp, you know, the instrument like now, from the country music. I said, what is this? I have no idea. I said, honey, I saw a mouth harp. I have no idea what that is. And then bam, a second visual. And it was an 8, but I knew for some reason it was a parasite. I ran to the computer and I tapped on Google, I remember that day, parasite in 8, the number 8. And the first picture that came in Google image was the mouth harp. That made absolutely no sense because that did not even respect my query. Once again, the universe planned it. So the first picture I saw was my first visual. And this was the name of this was a parasite with the name Ankylostoma. And we got very, very, very lucky because this was during lockdown. We did a meeting with a doctor online, and they did not ask for lab tests or anything. And they said, I'm just going to give you the prescription. Actually, the doctor never heard about that parasite. He had to look it up in his dictionary, and he sent us the prescription later. So my wife got the prescription. She got all kind of red dots on her skin. All the parasites were gone because the parasite actually started to eat her from the inside and eating her lungs. She had difficulties breathing. And that was the first thing that I saw inside the body of a person who was sick. It was just, but we think that worked because when we did our reading or session, whatever you want, or ritual, our intention was so pure, but actually that worked. We got the picture. This is what we believe.
And then the doctor supported your diagnosis enough to give you the anti-worm medicine.
That made no sense, actually.
It makes no sense.
Because they completely believed us. They did not ask for tests. But like, yeah, of course. It was like, oh my God, how is this possible for, a rational doctor to just believe a guy like this? Mm-hmm. It was like all orchestrated. There is just no doubt. It's just impossible. I mean, I've never seen the doctor give a prescription like that without tests. I mean, in my life, I'm 50 years old. I've never heard of this before.
And your wife got better.
Yes. And then her health started to get better and better and better. Now she can breathe normally. And well, after your body still need to adjust. That's normal. It's not a miraculous healing. So that was the first episode.
So meanwhile, the divine has stepped in. The intelligence of the universe has now stepped in multiple times.
Yes.
Or we could say you stepped into that current, that vibratory signal of the universal intelligence.
All that, yeah.
All of the above. So you are now walking, living, acting in concert with the miraculous world.
Definitely. You explained it beautifully.
So what I love about this and what I want the listeners to think about is this going to happen to each of us? Maybe not. But Patrice had a commitment to meditating and doing breathing work, which is known for 5,000 years to help you access the mystical. And then he steps into, I'll call it a frequency, a universal intelligence. Professor Laszlo would call it the information field, consciousness. He is now living, operating, working, thinking in concert with this. And the miraculous starts happening. Now, I think this is exciting just because what's happening to Patrice is exciting. But what's exciting to me is I think this connection is accessible to all of us. And we're gonna talk more about this. Patrice and I are going to talk more about this. But I just want everybody to hold that in your mind while he keeps telling us how things are now evolving. So he's getting these abilities, these extra perceptive, these sensory abilities, these knowings, and they're turning out to be right enough and powerful enough to help heal his wife from something she's been struggling with for over 10 years.
Yes.
All right, I'm excited. I want to hear more. Okay, tell us more.
Okay, so lockdown hits. We didn't know what to do, so we said, let's do a Reiki training online. We just bought a cheap Reiki training, which was actually the real deal, but was really fun. So we could understand a little more about energy and stuff like that. We started entering into this world of energy work, which was just for fun. We just did that between friends and between us. And one day, a friend of my wife says, he's actually executive in a big company in Germany. And he says, I want to try to see what it is. The guy is limping. So, okay, I'll give you a session. He did not believe in any of this. So I do a session. It was a local session of Reiki. And I see the guy is like, whoa, 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 on the table. He said, what's happening? I'm screaming. He's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. He says, oh my God, I have the taste of blood in my mouth. And I was on his right leg and his tibia. I remember this very well. And I was seeing a story. It was like a guy beating up another guy with his leg. And I was seeing blood. And then I went, whoa! Energy, exactly like at Daniela. This is it. We finished a Reiki session. The guy stands up. He doesn't limp anymore. We were like, what? My limping is gone. He doesn't limp anymore. It's gone. He's been limping forever, but it's just crazy. So this was one event. Then I had another lady. She has a fibroid.
Let's talk about that event for a minute. So the client who was limping has the taste of blood.
Yes.
While you're getting an image of a story of an old injury involving a fight and hitting with legs.
Well, it was actually a little movie. I see a movie full HD. It's incredible. So I believe now that I know more, I believe it has to do with past lives or parallel lives, whatever you want to call them. If there is no time in the universe, it is what it is. For 3D time, past life makes more sense.
And then you bring this information to the forefront. And if I'm going to remember how Professor Laszlo and I talked about it, we are calling forth the original information of the original template of the body. So the story that was imposed upon it, the past lives and everything, can be free to pass, leaving the original healed template.
Definitely. This is incredible how you explain this better than me.
Anyway, we're going to take a short break and then I want to hear more, because this is everybody listening. We call it energy medicine, even though there are scientists like Stefan Schwartz who have told us this is not energy, no transfer of EMF or anything is happening, but it is a connection to the universal field where the original templates of all of our existences are held, and how we can step past the story that is downloaded in the physical reality and go back to the original. So this is pretty cool. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. I'm Doc Martin, back, Maximum Medicine, here with Patrice Krysztofiak. And he just helped a friend heal an age-old wound in his leg. Now he's going to tell us more. Patrice?
Yes, so I had a woman who had a fibroid. She was in pain. And she said, can you do something? I said, I have no clue. Honestly, I have no clue. I just did a session, Reiki session on her. And I made a mistake. I could actually feel the energy in my hands for the first time. It feels like a gummy bear, I would say, for me. It's very rubbery.
Squishy.
Squishy, yes.
Mhm.
That's the first time that happened in my life. I don't feel it all the time. And I was like pulling some sort of snake from her belly, but it was super long. It was like, I don't know, like 10 yards long. And my hand touched her belly by accident. And the energy shot from my hand. And I actually had a burn mark inside the palm of my hand. I had a physical burn. And I was like, oh my God, energy is real. What is that? And suddenly I lost my eyesight for 2 minutes. I could not see, but my eyes were like red, like in a movie, like blood, I don't know. And I received instructions, Patrice, go outside, go touch a big rock. We have a big stone outside of the house. So I was like walking, touching the walls. I touch the big stone and I can feel the energy emptying my body, and my eyesight changes and it becomes green. And then I went, oh my God, this is what people talk about. This is Archangel Raphael. Because honestly, I thought this was just BS. But it made so much sense, and it was just the truth. It resonated in me like, yes, this is Archangel Raphael, the green color. This is what people, it's the first time I've seen a being of energy, because we have to name them on the planet, a frequency, I guess. Then I go put my hands under cold water, I receive instructions, put your hands under cold water. And then my eyesight turns blue, and after 2 minutes, I can see again. I go see the lady, and then bam, I continue the Reiki session. In the corner of my viewport, I call that the viewport, my vision. You know, in the news, when you see the sign language person?
Yes.
I see a documentation of what to do for such cases. And they give me mudras. They say this. And I had to follow. It was full HD, like picture over picture. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I have the documentation to the sessions. This is so easy. I just have to follow the picture like a kid, you know. And I did this with hands. So, and they explained to me that if I do this, the energy cannot go through my hand, because actually I had a burn mark right here at the stigmata of the Christ on the right hand, burned, and with the pain, like really like a flame. Honestly, I have a picture of it. It was incredible. For me, this was absolutely incredible. And then over time, the lady, her fibroid decreased. It's not instant. I'm not a magician. It's not magic. We're still humans, but the body, it's like the energy of the problem is not there anymore, and the body can recover by itself. And this is what I believe, is that people heal themselves. We just remove the blocks. We're not healers. I'm not a healer. I can just help them remove the block that prevents them from getting back to normal, the original template, as you called it. I really like that. So this was another example. But not all examples are magic like this. And this is what I found very beautiful. And this is where science needs to meet this world. I have a lady with diabetes. She says, Patrice, can you help me? So I ask and I get a no. But suddenly I see pictures of horses. And I tell her, do you have horses by your house? And she says, oh yeah, they're like 1 mile away. I tell her, you have to go see them for 1 month. She did it. She did the full protocol. Her diabetes is gone. It's not an energetic healing. And she said, oh my God, because she walks a lot. And she says, by walking half a mile more than usual, it actually rebalanced my body and my diabetes is gone. So actually we get advice for 3D, I call that 3D. We get actually scientific advice for what people can do. Sometimes it can be eat a banana because there is this vitamin. So if informations are so precise, it's just unbelievable, the level of information that we get. And
where do you think what you've come to learn, and you said you're now studying with a monk. So you're studying deeper into the mystical, into mysticism. The visions that you're seeing are mudras. Well, the little bit I know about Ayurvedic and Hindu related healings, we're talking 5,000 years old. So you're getting information of age-old approaches.
Definitely, and I'm really not in that field. I'm just a regular guy working on a computer in France. You know,
right?
We don't have posters with chakras and stuff.
Right. But you're getting told how to hold your hands in a way that protects you with the energy flowing.
Yes, sometimes I get instructions of how to breathe, but also for the patient or the client. I don't know if I can say patient. I'm not a medical professional. Like you have to breathe for 8, you have to breathe, hold your breath. I get instructions of the person what she needs to do. Sometimes they have to make sounds too. I get the note and I say, please sing, oh, and they do that and something happens. They shake like, oh, and their problem vanishes over the next days. Not all of them, it's not magic either. You still have to put the work in when you get instructions. Some people don't put the work, it doesn't work. But we get very, very, very clear instructions. So this is absolutely incredible.
It is incredible. And it's, from what I can tell by what you're talking about, you're getting instructions in a style that's been around for a long time.
And also a style that I understand. They use my vocabulary. I'm a computer programmer. I get a lot of diagrams and technical things, I would like to call it like that, or electronic circuitry, symbols. So I see a line with a triangle. I know what it does. I don't know. I know what it does, but it's very abstract geometry sometimes, but I know what it is. There's a message that comes with it.
And sound healing.
And sound healing too, yes.
And when you have these episodes where you feel the need to vomit, even though nothing comes out, but you feel that you're shifting the energy and the problem, that's very shamanic.
Yes.
So I just see this as, these are not, these are ways that have been used for thousands of years. So now that you have studied this and that you've been doing this now for a while, tell me what you've learned in, especially, how do you have to be present? What tools do you use to connect? And just anything else that you've come to realize.
Well, what I've come to realize is that we can get very highly detailed of the human body and the organs that are inside without X-ray or MRI machine, because I get full visuals that are full HD of bones and livers and full color, full HD with the arrow pointing to the problem. Your problem is here, but it's full HD, like holographic. Honestly, it's like an hologram. I believe everybody can do this. So how do I get there? I completely disconnect the left lobe of my brain. I have actually no thought. It's like I'm not here. I put my intention before. Please tell me what's wrong with this person. It's actually easier if the person is really open to this. I have noticed that sometimes I cannot read people who are not open, or if they don't ask a specific question, read my heart. This I don't exactly know why yet. As soon as they ask the question, the access is open. But for some people, it's possible to read them completely. So I enter in a meditative state. Now it's getting quicker. At the beginning, it would take me 2 or 3 hours to get in this state. It's not like this. So when I began, I started to do this in dreams, because I would meditate 2 or 3 hours in bed, and I would receive a full lucid dream, navigating in the body of the person. But as I got more and more requests, it took too long, because I would not get in the dream state every time. So I meditated a lot before, during my depression. I meditated between 2 to 5 hours a day, every day. So that's not nothing. Got rid of my TV. TV is your worst poison, clearly, because that occupies your mind with fear and problems of daily life. And you cannot listen to your own body. You need to be able to listen to your own body, to feel where you have problems, and then you will be able to listen to the body of the person that's in front of you. But that also works on a distance. There is no distance limitation. We are all connected, which is, I truly believe this now, because now I can also feel the pain of other people, even women. I can feel the pain of the sexual organs or ovaries of a woman, and I'm not a woman. So clearly we are all connected, and if we hurt other people, we hurt ourselves. So kindness is key to access this information. We have to be kind.
And getting out of the left brain is key.
Yes, no monkey mind.
And that's how meditation helps you.
Yes. I use a lot of binaural sounds also. I listen to a lot of binaural beats. I don't know if you know Kelly Howell or other people like this, famous people that really helped me.
So we can all listen to that. I'm just trying to think of how to say it. I have a guest in my next, at the beginning of September's show, who lives in a spiritual community called Ananda, which is the teachings of Yogananda, and he's a deep meditator, and he's going to talk about the physics of God. But I'm just thinking the little bit I've learned from reading his book, and we can enter that state where our consciousness links up with everybody's. And when we're out of our left brain, we're in the receptive state, we're in the intuitive state, and we are willing to lose our self-importance. I'm making this up as I go along, Patrice, so correct me.
It's perfectly explained.
And then we are connecting to the universal truth.
Yes.
We have let go of our personal filters, our biases. Of course, we have an intention for our client to be well. But that intention of well-being, if I just analyze this myself in my mind, the universe is intelligent and moves towards well-being.
Yes.
So we get rid of our personal thoughts, our personal desires, our ego-centered. We, with a tool like meditation or binaural beats, we enter the zone where we are expanded. Our consciousness is now connected to the universal consciousness. And then, this is the cool part, then, and I believe this, I don't know if I can always do it myself, then we can access those truths.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm just remembering, do you know of the famous psychic and healer Edgar Cayce?
Yes, some people told me, Edgar Cayce, you are dreaming like him.
Right. So he went into a trance, and then he would tell things about people who he had never met, who were remote, because he was entering that connected consciousness.
Yes.
And I believe, and this is where I think the frontier of healing can be, is you can then, let's see if this makes sense to you. We have this field of consciousness where all things are possible. And then we download them into our 3D reality. So we have a consensual reality, but it's really illusory. It's changeable. It's really not the truth. It's an illusion we live in. But somewhere in this universal field, every bit of universal evolution is striving for evolution and well-being. The intelligence is geared that way. The intelligence of our bodies are geared that way. So if we remove this downloaded illusion that your reality is that you have a limp, your reality is that you have a parasite, your reality is that you have a fibroid causing you pain. Let's remove those. We'll call them blocks. And then you're left with the intelligence that's informing your physical being that comes only from a place of healed well-being.
Yes, this is exactly it. I call that bending the matrix.
Bending the matrix. I like that. So tell people, besides you're willing to do the work, you're willing to accept the messages that appear before you, you stay out of your filters, your prejudices, your intolerances, hold only the vibration of love.
Yes.
And then in that state, you say to the universal intelligence, tell me what I need to know.
Exactly. So for me, I ask, for example, if somebody tell me I have a headache, I'm going to give you an example that happened yesterday. A lady told me, I have migraines. Do you know where they're coming from? So I ask the universe, show me the source of the migraine. And I see a line moving along her body from the head under her right foot. And I say, I got the instruction, go see a reflexologist. It's under your right foot, exactly at this position. And she said, oh my God, this is where I broke my foot. This is so simple. You just have to believe, be neutral in state of love, as you said. And the information is delivered in a way you can understand it. So not everybody will see the way I see, but they will get the same message in the end. Maybe they will get a picture or a sound, an idea,
And
but they will
that's what I've also found. I had a radio show with a very famous spiritual medium who also reads tarot cards, and she gets her messages in symbols that she understands. So you'll get your messages in symbols that you'll understand, or that's important to tell the client, you know, I saw such and such. It might mean nothing to you. So forget about your ego that you think you're a crazy person, and you tell them and they go, oh, when I was 6 years old, such and such, that's exactly what happened to me.
Oh my God, what happened yesterday with a client? She told me, what can I do? And I said, you have to watch stand-up comedy. And she said, that was completely ridiculous answer. And she said, oh my God, this is what I was thinking this morning.
See, that's so perfect. Yep. Why do you think meditation helped you?
Because it removes the fear of the world, but in a big way. Getting rid of TV was a big thing. I was not thinking, oh my God, the taxes are going to go up. Oh, the prices of gas, because this occupies your mind and you cannot listen to the fine messages. Our bodies are screaming all the time with messages. Because now I can cross somebody in the street and tell him, oh my God, you have a lung problem, because that happened. I saw a flash in the lung of somebody I was crossing. And I told the lady, and she said, oh yes, in January, I have a lung infection that doesn't go away. And I said, I can help you in the street like this. I don't know how that happened. I didn't do anything. I saw the lady 1 week later, no more infection. And yeah, fear, your mind is occupied with noise all the time. It's extremely difficult in the USA. I found that extremely difficult to be in the zone in the US because there is so many commercials, ads, fearful things, that it keeps your mind crazy.
Our media right now is so full of the fracturing between people.
Yes.
It's so full of who did what to whom and how we're going to get back at them. And who's right, and I've got to prove I'm right, and I'll fight you over this. And yeah, it's a crazy world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah, we're trying to divide people, but in fact, we are all one. I have no doubt about that now. It's the fact that I can feel the pain of other people in my body. It's like, yes, we are connected. I don't know if that works. I don't need to know. I just know it's true, and that's all I need to know. I know I can help people. I'm going to help as many people as I can in my lifetime, and that's my goal. And spend time with them. I don't want to be a factory of readings. I want, if I take 3 hours for a reading, I will take 3 hours, because people who were too lonely, they were too lonely during COVID. That's really basically what killed my mother-in-law, loneliness.
So there's two things that I want to finish on, because we only have maybe 2 more minutes. One is that you were told to go outside, and this is my interpretation. In my training in shamanic energies, we were often told, ground, go out and ground, go to nature, let your energy dissipate to ground. So here you are, filled up with energy coursing through you. You get a burn in your hand, your vision goes out, and you go and you touch a rock. Well, nothing is more grounding than the solid component of earth.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that having nature involved is really, it's good. I like that part of your story. So before we close, Patrice, I want you to tell people how they can find you, your website, and then how they can work with you.
Yes, so my website is nightshiftguy.com. It's like a guy who works at night because I started with dreams, so I picked up that name.
So all one word, nightshiftguy.com.
Yeah, no spaces, no dashes, and that's it. And there is a calendar, and we can book on the website. They can send me a message.
So just for everybody to know, Patrice, when I first met him, we started, we didn't quite finish, and I'll have him get back to that. In January, I started to have pain in both my hands, and it got so bad, tightness, swelling, pain, that I went to a rheumatologist. My doctor, took me, go find the doctor answer. And he said, well, maybe this is rheumatoid arthritis. And I said, no, I am not having rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not going to. Anyway, so Patrice started working on it and talked to me about using camphor. And Patrice, I have no swelling and no pain.
Oh, what a win. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's
so
believable, sorry.
Whatever part you played in that, I thank you. Now, I have to say, I did my own prayers, my meditation, my self-hypnosis on a day-to-day basis. But somehow, and I just kept believing there is an original template that I can get back to. There is original intelligent well-being that is possible for my hands. So anyway, so
That's
what
amazing.
would you like to tell people? We have just a little under a minute when we close up.
So I would like to tell them that I think everybody can access this information. Get rid of your TV, meditate. We need one person like me in every neighborhood, and we need to get to work and
Help each other.
Help each other, yeah, wherever we are. And that also works on animals and plants.
And I'll add to this, when we are in that blissful state that we can access, when we are touching the universal, the collective consciousness that reaches each of us, our differences, our intolerances, our separateness is going to go away.
Oh my God, yes. And this is incredible. When I do sessions, sometimes I fall in love with an organ, like I fall in love with a woman. One day that happened, I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with your knee. That brings you to a pure state of love, but when it's hard to explain. It's like your first love when you're a teenager. You get this every time you do a session on somebody. You reach that point, and it makes you. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I cannot explain it.
And that's how we're going to save humanity, is more and more of us moving into that place.
Yes.
More and more of us bringing that goodness to each of us. Patrice, I loved having you here, and I'll send you the link, and people can find you on www.nightshiftguy.com.
Exactly. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you so much. And we'll end now, and everybody will get to see this video again and again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
All right. You've been listening to Maximum Medicine Radio with Doc Martin. Tune in next time while the doc talks health, spirituality, and the impact your beliefs have on every part of who you are, body and soul. Doc Martin unpacks the challenges we face as human beings and teaches callers to open the door between the scientific and the mystical. To learn more about Doc Martin and Maximum Medicine, visit www.sharonmartinmd.com.